All right, I have canceled my forthcoming appearance on Jubilee's Surrounded. Some of you knew I was going to do it, and I feel like I owe you the truth about why. Now, the concept was going to be one progressive millennial, me, versus 20 right wing Gen Zers. And I have decided not to do it. Now, after Charlie Kirk was killed, I really thought hard about whether this is something that I still want to do. Now, there were sort of two sets of concerns. Initially, there was certainly a thought about security, right? I mean, Surrounded is essentially what Charlie Kirk used to do, except it was a controlled environment. It was, indoors, and it's me versus 20 people, not a huge crowd. And the people are pre-selected by the casting directors and that sort of thing. So there was initially like might this give somebody an idea? Would it be safe? Am I tempting fate by doing the same thing Charlie Kirk used to do? The truth is that the security stuff, I was satisfied was pretty well dealt with. Jubilee was very nice, and everyone I've dealt with at Jubilee has been nice this entire time. They were going to essentially quadruple the security presence, and they were talking about some additional protocols. And at the end of the day, I believe that the security issue is not really the concern in the immediate location of the event. But then I kind of started thinking bigger picture, and I heard from a lot of you, and I heard from a lot of people whose opinions I respect. I started having a sort of like, reckoning about the type of content that I want to put out, the situations I want to put myself in. And I started devoting some thought to, like, is this entire kind of debate format a good idea? It is kind of a rage bait, prioritized extremism sort of thing. I'm not sure that it's the best thing in the world. And I had said it before, right? I actually did a whole video about this. It was a segment called Is the Memification of Debate Killing Us? And from what I heard from a lot of you, some thought the format of Surrounded is fine. Some thought it was problematic. There were different opinions. Bottom line, I've made a decision. I came to a conclusion. I don't think the conversations that Charlie Kirk was having, and I don't think the conversations that I would have if I did this event would really foster understanding, advance a productive cause, or bring people together in any way. In fact, I mean, when you look at some of the techniques that Charlie Kirk used, to in a sense, it would actually do the opposite. Like Charlie Kirk did, this is an aside, but Charlie Kirk would do this thing where whatever topic comes up, he would like funnel the conversation into a bucket that he controls. So like if anyone says anything related to abortion, he immediately goes, hold on a second. When does life begin? And then now he is just leading you down a predetermined conversation. Or if someone brought up anything related to Israel or Gaza, he would say, wait. Does Israel have a right to exist? And then just from there, he's guiding. It's a technique. It doesn't really get us anywhere. But moving on and back to Jubilee and Surrounded. I spoke to people who have appeared on Surrounded. And, you film for hours and hours, 3-4 hours. It gets cut down. What ends up being published just highlights extremism. It highlights people who are, in a sense, quite unhinged. A lot of the good conversations end up excluded. And the other thing, quite frankly, that made me not feel good about it is that in reviewing some recent episodes, some of the participants are pretty obviously mentally ill. Like, not only is the debate stuff, bro, maybe not the best format for what I'm trying to build, is it even ethical when some of the people selected are very clearly not of sound mind? Now, I'm not even going to mention which episodes this is particularly clear in, but it is many. There are people selected who forget about being extremist, which is like, fine, you talk to extremists depending on the format. There's some people that really, it's almost like predatory to include them in some of this stuff. So I've made the decision not to participate, and I am foregoing significant publicity by doing this. I've spoken to people who said, yeah, it was wacky, but by appearing on there, it really blew up my platform. It blew up my YouTube channel. And we've had some negative publicity lately. As many of you know, it's not like I couldn't use the boost. But overall, at the end of the day, it just doesn't feel right. And if I think ahead to the next 5 years, the direction I want to go, the second book I'm working on, I just don't know that I am getting us in the direction of the world I envision by doing this. And some of you might go, David, it's so stupid. Take the publicity, get the 50,000, YouTube subscribers that you would get from doing it or whatever other people have gotten. But it just doesn't seem like I am kind of putting my money where my mouth is if I do that. I want to hear from you. Tell me your thoughts. I believe the way for shows like ours to really grow and to grow the ecosystem is not necessarily to do the debate bro stuff in this format. It's people who just like what we're doing, supporting directly, liking videos, subscribing, and building an ecosystem that actually is where we would like to see the political discourse go. And at the end of the day, when I look at the final product of Surrounded, it is not discourse that I believe takes us in the direction that we should be going in. So I want to hear from you. Leave a comment, send me an email, info@davidpakman.com. Did I screw this one up? Or is it a decision that is in line with what we want to see from political discussion and discourse in the future? Let me know your thoughts. Every time you Google your name, you will probably find dozens of sites that expose your personal information. This can include phone number, home address, family details. It's just sitting there waiting to be scraped or abused. Incogni is a privacy service. They go after these sites on your behalf. They contact the data brokers. They demand your data be removed, which the brokers are legally required to do. Incogni will automatically remove your information from hundreds of the biggest and most notorious data broker sites, but you're not just limited to those. You can use Incogni's custom removal if you find your info on a website outside of Incogni's default list. The team at Incogni will work to get that information removed. This is how you protect yourself and your family from identity theft, financial scams, harassment, even AI-powered profiling by ad companies. And Incogni's data removal process is the only one verified independently by Deloitte. This gives them a unique level of credibility. Try Incogni risk-free and get 60% off when you go to incogni.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman. The link is in the description.